What is up, comic book fans, readers, collectors, cover lovers? Everyone is welcome here at Nerdy Geeks Comics, no matter how you collect. Today is Friday, February the 20th, 2026. So you know what that means. It is my final order cutoff video, also known as my FOC video. Today, I have a lot of books to show you. So the last few weeks, I've been able to keep it relatively low. This week, it exploded again. I really worked hard to try and keep it as low as I could, and it didn't work out that well, but it worked out fairly well. You'll see at the end. A big week for indies. So if you're an indie fan, there's a lot of new number ones coming out that sound like they may be pretty good. So you know what? Enough of me talking about what's going to happen. Let's go ahead and get to my list. All right, so here we go. Like I said, this is for this coming Monday, February the 23rd, 2026. So make sure you get your final order cutoff orders in. That way you can get the best discount you possibly can. Because as I always say, this hobby can and will get expensive, especially if you collect like I do. So get your final order cutoffs in so you can get those discounts. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to start off with Batwoman number 1. This is cover B by Stepan Sejic, and this is a really fantastic cover of Batwoman right here. So it looks like we're going to have Cassandra Cain in this series. Really great cover right here. I love the red and black of the outfit. I love the way everything looks about this. Definitely going to want to pick this one up. Next, we also have Batwoman number 1. Here we have cover C, the Stanley Artgerm Lou variant, and there's also cover D, the foil variant. So pick whichever one you want. I'm probably just going to stick with the regular, but we'll see how the foil looks. And there's also this cover G, which is the 1 in 25 Joshua Swaby variant. Really nice cover right here. I'm not sure if I'm definitely going to have this one on my FOC. I'll probably decide Monday when I finally put it in, but it's a really great cover by Swaby. Here we have cover D of The Darkness, issue number 4. So The Darkness, I did read issue number 1. It was an okay story. It felt like it jumped around a lot, but the artwork was really good. I have not read it since, but this is a complete cover by right here. Here we have the Ed Benez Invincible Team-Up variant, where we have The Darkness versus Omni-Man right here. Really great cover, and there's going to be quite a few of these Invincible Team-Ups. I want to say there was a few last week, there's a few this week, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some more next week. Okay, so here we have Dead Teenagers number 1. This is cover B by Kayla Valerio. So this is a brand new series, probably going to be a mini series. And here's the synopsis. There's no escaping high school. Since 1997, 5 friends have been trapped in the ultimate nightmare as a mysterious entity forces them to relive their first prom night over and over again, and re-kills them in new and increasingly insane ways each time. They dress up, they party, they make out, and no matter what they try to change, they always die, until now. So that sounds like it could be an interesting series. I'm going to go ahead and give number 1 a pickup and a read. Hopefully it's a great read, but there's some pretty nice covers to this as well. This is cover C, the Caitlin Yarsky variant. And here we have a great homage to Pretty Woman. All right, so here we have Deathstroke, the Terminator, issue number 1. This is cover B by Dan Panosian. A really great cover by Dan Panosian right here. So I am not the biggest Deathstroke fan, but I will give this a read. It does sound like it might be a little interesting. Hopefully it's a good read. That's what all of my books are always whenever I try and grab a number 1. But this cover right here, cover C by Eom, is just fantastic. What an amazing cover. You can see he literally looks like the Terminator right here. He's got a trail of blood. There's a body down there. He's not covered in anything. He's just ready to go and take out whoever's in front of him. Really great cover by Eom right here. I also like that Eom is branching out. You know, he's not just sticking to his pinup type covers. And here we have Dork issue number 1. This is the 3rd printing by Brett Bean. So Dork, as I mentioned before, has exploded. It just completely exploded the day it came out. Last week, I told y'all about Dork number 1 having a 2nd printing. That already sold out. So if you didn't put it on your FOC, you're going to have to go hunting for it at your LCSs come new comic book day, or pay those secondary market values, because from what I've seen, they're already going for $20-$30 for the 2nd printing that just went up for FOC last week. So here's a 3rd printing. So if you want to read it or you just want to collect it, here's your chance to get a copy at cover price or less with a discount. So if Dork is something that's interesting you, put this on your FOC and go pick it up before it starts to go crazy as well. Up next, we have End of Life. This is issue number 2. This is the Gerald Farrell variant. And I did read issue 1. It did come out this week. I actually did like it. It's kind of like a John Wick type. If John Wick was just an asshole that you didn't like and didn't give a shit about anybody, almost like he has Asperger's syndrome. If I'm using that correctly. He's not very likable, but of course he still is likable. He goes on a heist. He gets hired by a crew to go on a heist. Needless to say, the heist goes wrong, and it turned out they were robbing the wrong place. And now he's basically at the end of his life trying to survive. So I did like it. I will be reading issue number 2 because the story did intrigue me. So not only did he do that, but on the run, he also pissed off some more people. So now he's got more people after him. So I did like issue number 1. So this is a Vertigo series. So there is a lot of cussing. It's not overly gory, but of course you see people getting shot and killed. But it's not overly gory. But I really did enjoy it. Okay, so here we go. Exquisite Corpses issue number 11. This is cover A by Michael Walsh. So here we are. We're coming down to the very end of this series. It felt like it wasn't that long ago that we were at issue 1 and 2, and it was going to be a long haul till we got to issue 12 and the finale. Well, here we are, almost there. I'm still in on it. I haven't read issue 10 yet. It just came out this week, but I will be giving it a read over the weekend. I will also be picking up cover D, the Gavin Fullerton variant. Here we have Rascal Randy. A really great, really creepy cover. I would not want to run into somebody wearing this in this type of environment at night. Really great cover. Here we have cover C. This is the collectible card variant. So this is the one that comes in the poly bag, and there's a collectible card in there. I have been picking all these up because I want to have the complete set. Some of these cards are in foil, and some of these cards are going for money, because once this series is over, they're going to release an actual trading card game that you can play, and you can use the cards that come with these. And here we have cover D. This is the stealth variant. This is why this video is coming out right now as opposed to last night, because I was waiting for this cover to drop to see what it was. Here we have the Fox Killer drinking her cup of blood instead of tea, and she's using an eyeball as a garnish. Really nice cover right here. And of course, here we have cover H, which is the Michael Walsh Invincible Team Up variant. And we have the Fox Face Killer right here versus Invincible. Really great cover. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of these Invincible Team Ups on this FOC. As in this one, here we have Geiger, issue number 22. This is cover D by Gary Frank. So we have Omni-Man right here versus Geiger. A really nice cover. I'm surprised that we haven't had any of these Geiger covers that have been glow in the dark or black lights, because they look like they would be perfect for it. If there have been and I don't know about it, let me know, because if there is one, I wouldn't mind picking it up. Up next, we have Gen X 23. This is issue number 2. This is the Maria Wolf variant, and Maria Wolf did a great job with this cover. X23 looks awesome. I love all the ghost type of wolves, or Patronus looking wolves, if you allow me, in the background. Really nice cover. I did read issue number 1. So it's kind of a team up with Laura and Gabby. They're working together. Gabby looks like she's still in training. Laura is being overprotective of her, which is irritating Gabby, just like it irritated Laura. But now Laura does acknowledge that she's being overprotective, knowing that Gabby has the same healing factor as her, but now she gets it. It was an okay read. We got somebody from Laura's past who's, trying to contact her, or it seems like she is. There's some timey-wimey stuff happening. It wasn't the best read, but it wasn't awful. So I'm going to give issue number 2 a read. And if the story doesn't pull me in by then I'll probably drop off of it. But this Peach Momoko, I'm definitely going to pick up, because this is a great Peach Momoko. You have Laura right there. You have Gabby down there. And y'all let me know. So I do like Laura Kinney. I don't know too much about Gabby, but Gabby used to be the Honey Badger, right? Because it seems like now they're calling her Scout. So is that something brand new with this series, or is that something that was done before? Because I've always known her as a Honey Badger. Now, if I'm wrong, let me know, because again, I just got back into comics 2 years ago in 2024, so a lot has happened that I probably missed out on. So, drop a comment and let me know what's going on with that. Here we have Ghost Pepper, issue number 9. We're coming to the end of this story. I have enjoyed this series. I am caught up to issue number 8. I'm halfway through 8. I haven't finished it yet, but I am almost done with it. So I'll be looking forward to issue number 9 coming out. Now we're getting a lot of the full story of Ash's background, of what's going on with Batar. We learn more about Loloi and where she came from and where she gets her ghost peppers, and a lot of different characters. So I'm actually really enjoying it. Issues 6, 7, and 8. 6 and 7 were really good. That we got a lot of explanation on the backstory. So I'm glad I kept up with this, because if I had listened to everyone else, I would have dropped this after issue 1. But I'm glad I stuck with it. So of course, I'm going to be picking up cover C, the 1 in 10 Fred Fram Chung variant. We have another, toy cover right here. And here we have Vex, who knows about the background of Batar and of Ash. So really nice cover right here. And those things on her shoulders, and then also looks like, a little accessory to her figure. Yeah, if you've been reading it, you know what those things are. I will also be picking up cover F, the Ludo Lullaby Invincible Team Up variant. And here we have Omni-Man versus Ash. Really great cover right here. Here we are at Godzilla issue number 9. This is cover A by Hendry Presetya. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not sure if I am. But a really nice cover. It seems like they like to have Godzilla just charging up with radiation in these covers. Really great cover. So I still am behind on this series. I want to say the last thing I read was issue number 4. It was starting to lose me at issue number 4. Hopefully it picks up. Otherwise, this is just going to be a complete cover by series for me. I try to read all of my comics, but as you see, a low week for me would be like 27, and a high FOC week for me is like 59. I want to say is the most I've had. So that's a lot of comic books to go through. And as I've told y'all before, but if you're new, I'm letting you know, I am dyslexic. I have ADD. So sitting down and reading the comic book is not the easiest thing for me. I know there's other people who can sit down and knock out a comic in 10, 15 minutes, maybe quicker. If I can get through a comic in 30 to 45 minutes, that is fantastic for me. But it's just one of those things where I got to concentrate so hard on the reading and everything, and concentrate and not get distracted, that I will physically get tired and sometimes fall asleep. So again, it's not the easiest thing for me, but I do love reading my comics. I do love collecting them, so I'm going to keep doing it. Here we have cover B, the Victor Ferraro variant. Really great cover. I love the use of green. It feels like they use green all in this series. And I know, well, you know what? Godzilla's actually not known for being green. He's like that darker grayish coal color. But they like to use green in this issue, or in this series at least. And here we have another movie homage. This is the 1 in 15 Louis de Martini's. I don't know if I said that right, but a really great cover. You got Rodan up there, and you got, looks like the crab monster. I don't know that character's name. If y'all know what that character's name is, I grew up watching the Godzilla movies. I love kaiju, but I don't know all the obscure characters. I just want to say that's the crab monster, even though it looks more like a lobster. But I do know that's Rodan up top. Okay, here we have Iron Man number 3. This is the Mateo Lally April Fool's Day variant. And you have Wade right here in his Iron Man armor, made completely of tape and cardboard. And of course, if you notice where the, warning caution sign is, well, you know why. Up next, we have Lobo number 1. This is the Jorge Corona cover. This is cover A. Really nice cover right here. So this is the series that could potentially blow up. There's a lot of Lobo fans, and especially with Supergirl coming out and Lobo going to be making an appearance in there, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts to explode. So I'm going to be picking up this cover along with cover C, the Eom variant. Again, I really love that Eom is going out of his comfort zone and doing more covers with male characters and stuff like this, because this is a really great Lobo. I love his dog right there. Really nice cover. I love the red background too. Like, it felt like this could have used a lot of background, but it actually works with that red. Here we have cover B. This is the Lee Bermejo variant. Again, another great cover of Lobo. You got, looks like some space dolphins back there in the background. You got his bike. You got the bike with the gun popping out of the skull right there. Really great cover. Okay, so here we have Neighborhood Watch. This is issue number 1. So this is the Haining cover, and this is the main cover. And here is the synopsis. Jill Howlett, community leader and wife of respected police officer, has turned up with a gunshot wound in a tunnel connecting the Willhaven gated community with the neighboring Open Arms Collective. And now the VP of the HOA and the kitchen steward of the collective have stumbled upon her body at the exact same time, instinctively casting blame across the divide. Forced into an uneasy alliance to discover the truth, they need to work together to uncover the secrets both communities hold, to figure out who's responsible for this crime and what they could possibly gain from it, and what was Jill doing in that tunnel in the first place. So, it's another indie. I do love my indies. It sounds like it could be interesting. Again, as always, I'm going to pick up issue 1. I'll give it a read. We'll see how it goes from there. I will also pick up cover B. This is the Suspiria Vilches variant. And here we have cover C. This is the Jenny Frizen Flashlight Glow-in-the-Dark Virgin variant. So, again, not one of Jenny's greatest. She loves her flowers. She loves to put flowers and leaves and things like that in her covers. And here you have the, shears, the bloody shears right there. So it's a nice cover. If it wasn't in the glow of the dark, I might have skipped out on it though. Here we have our Soot-Stained Heart, issue number 4. This is the Stippen Morian variant. And actually, this is the only cover that I saw for this issue. So I did read issue 1 and 2, and I found myself wondering who a specific character in issue 2 was, because They dressed that character up to look an awful like somebody we would all recognize. And I noticed that when I went to issue 3, I was more interested in finding out if that's who I thought it was as opposed to the story. So now I'm starting to think like if this may be my last issue. Like if the story doesn't grab me on this one, on issue number 4, I'm probably going to drop it, because if I'm trying to figure out if this is a character that really has nothing to do with the story, it's just that we would all recognize this character. And if that's what I'm interested in and not really the story, it's probably not worth reading anymore. But, you know, I will give it one more read. Here we have Predator Bloodshed. This is issue number 2. This is the 1 in 25 David Parator variant. Really fantastic cover up right here. Looks like we have a jungle hunter. He's already got blood on his blades right there. Really fantastic cover. This also looks like a statue that I wanted to get of the Predator that I want to say Prime 1 Studios did a while back. But back at that time, I wasn't buying from Prime 1 yet because, yes, my sideshow statues can get pricey. But Prime 1 is very pricey. Like the most expensive statue I ever bought was a Prime 1 statue. And it's not even out on display. I need to put it out on display. Hopefully once I get this room completely set up, hopefully the next time you see me on a video, this side right here will have the other statues. I'll be moved over to the side, so you're not going to be seeing the wall right here. And, you know, we'll get a better view of all my collectibles. And maybe once that happens, I can rearrange the ones on top so I can do a rotation so y'all can see more of them. But anyways, yeah, Prime 1, they're pretty expensive, but they're great quality statues. Okay, here we have Rafael Garcia. This is Henchman, issue number 1. This is cover A by Kit Wallace. So here we have another number 1 indie book, and here's a synopsis. What if life in a supervillain organization was less like a James Bond movie and more like working at Walmart corporate? Rafael Garcia, Henchman, brings the old familiar tropes of a dark workplace comedy by way of brand new cinematic superhero universe. Here comes an action comedy that mixes the daily grind of the office with the slacker absurdity of Stripes. If the general in charge was more like Lex Luthor. So that sounds like that could be kind of a funny series. So I'm going to pick this up. Hopefully we got a pretty good read to it. Next up, we have Rogue, issue number 3. This is the David Nakayama cover, and I did enjoy issue number 1. Issue number 2 hasn't dropped yet. This hopefully doesn't end up being just a cover series like most Rogue series are, but I did like issue number 1, so I'm still going to pick it up until it gives me a reason to drop it. Next up, we have Psy, Dimensional Rivals. This is number 3. And this is the main cover by Peach Momoko. A really great cover right here. Peach does Psylocke really well. All right, so now we have Something's Killing the Children, issue number 46. We finally have Sick Tick back. This is cover A by Werther Dell'Edera. I have been waiting for this ever since they announced that they're going to go to a minimum of 100 issues. I have been very excited for this series. I feel like at the end of issue, what was it, 34, 36? The one where she's in New Mexico and she's battling Cutter. I felt like they kind of wrote themselves into a wall right there and they don't know what to do. That's why we're getting backstories of Erica, of back when she was a kid and training with Jessica. And we're getting more things about, you know, how she feels about being, you know, a hunter and everything like that. But I'm hoping that in this time that they've been taking off, because Something's Killing the Children has really slowed down on its issues. And I'm hoping that they're working out their plan to make sure that these last 50 issues are going to be just as good as the first ones were, because that initial storyline was so fantastic. That is one of the things that really grabbed me and pulled me back into comics. Because like I said, 2024 is when I got back in. And I kept hearing people talk about this series, and I kept hearing them talk it up and talk it up. So I said, okay, let me go ahead and give it a read. And as I've told y'all in this video, my dyslexia and ADHD don't let me read books very much. But I burned through the first 12 issues. It was so good. It had me captivated. I really loved it. I liked all of it up until the mid-30s, whenever we got that, the end of the Cutter storyline. But since then, it's been hit and miss. Some of them have been pretty good. Others have been just all right. Come on, James Tynion. I believe in you. You can get this thing back on track, and we can have one of the greatest comic series to ever come out. But since I'm a huge fan, of course I'm going to be picking up the variants. So here we have cover B, the Jenny Frison Virgin variant. And here's cover C, the Lipwe Chang variant. Pretty nice cover. And you've got Erica there. You got all the monsters all behind her. Okay, so here we have The Thing on the Doorstep, issue number 2. This is cover A by Willie Roberts. And I did read issue number 1. I did really like it. I thought it was a good story. It's got me interested in what's going to happen. Usually, with the number 1 book, especially with any number 1 book, but specifically with indies, they try and throw so much information at you in the first book that you kind of start getting bored with it, and then maybe they'll catch you with something on the last page that makes you think, oh yeah, I want to see what's going on. But halfway through this book, I realized something that the story was telling me and leading up to, and it got me excited to see where the story was going as I was in the middle of reading this one. So I really did enjoy this book. Now, this is a horror series, and there is some creepy stuff here and there. It's not overly gory or anything like that. It is kind of dark, but the story itself I found interesting. So it's about two kids who meet up, and they meet each other when they're kids, and then it's them growing up together, and you see their bond and their friendship grow. But it's told by in intervals of every 2 years, every 4 years, 5 years, things like that. And I really do want to see how the story ends up the way it ends. When you read it, you'll understand. But I am ready for issue number 2. And issue number 1 did have some great covers, so I'm glad I picked it up. But this is the only cover that really interested me for this one. But this is specifically for the read. Okay, here we have Teen Titans, issue number 33. This is cover D, the Leslie Lyrics Lee Women's History Month variant. And we have a nice cover of Raven right here. I'm not okay, I see it. I was about to say, I'm not sure what happened to her other arm, but I see it. It's tucked in behind her. But it was kind of eerie for a second. I'm like, what happened to her other arm? It's a really nice cover of Raven right here. I'll probably be picking this one up. Okay, here we have Uncanny X-Men, number 25. This cover is done by David Marquez, and I'm a fan of werewolves. What can I say? You have Werewolf by Night versus Wolverine right here. So this is going to be the third part of this storyline, and basically you have the Marvel monsters versus the X-Men, or the Uncanny X-Men that are down in Louisiana. I wasn't sure how this was going to work, but this issue did a really good job. The characters that each character was facing off with worked really well. It made sense. Even at first when you're like, I don't know how this is going to work out, it really did work out pretty well. I am enjoying it. So just one thing, I felt like Elsa Bloodstone had been turned into kind of an anti-hero hero type character, and here it seems like she's going full villain again, but not quite. It seems like there is somebody in charge of the monsters. Maybe they're manipulating them more than we think. But I did like the first two parts of this storyline, so I'm looking forward to continue the read. All right, we're getting close to the end, so thanks for sticking with me. Here we have Wonder Woman, number 31. This is cover C by Dan Mora. A really great cover right here. You have Wonder Woman, you have the matriarch right there. Dan Mora does some fantastic artwork, and this Wonder Woman right here is so good. Fantastic Wonder Woman. She looks strong and ready for battle, just like she always should. And here we have cover D, the Mattia de Ulyss variant. I don't know how to pronounce that right. I'm trying to pronounce it right. But a really nice cover right here of the matriarch. I'm looking forward to this, new storyline that's coming out. Hopefully it'll be better than the last one. We'll find out. All right, so now it's time for honorable mentions. These are the books that I'm not specifically going to pick up, but I'm just letting you know about them. Also, some of these are higher ratios that I may not be able to get from my LCS. I will put them on my FOC. Whether there's enough pre-orders to qualify or not is another story, so I'm just letting you know about them. Here we have the second printing of Cyclops #1. This is the 1 in 25 Hitchum Hibachi Virgin variant. So this was a variant cover for issue 1. This is the second printing, the 1 in 25 Virgin. Sometimes these can go for pretty decent money. These second print 1 in 25 Marvel books. I really like the cover. Like I told y'all on the FOC for the original one, this reminds me a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom. Cyclops was a character I like to use, so I'm going to try and pick this one up. Here we have the Gen X 23 #2. This is the 1 in 50 Maria Wolf Virgin variant. So again, I don't know how well this series is selling. I'm going to try and pre-order it. Again, depends on if my LCS does get enough pre-orders for this or not. But it's a really great cover, so I wouldn't mind getting this 1 in 50 ratio. Okay, for all you G.I. Joe and Transformer fans, here you have issue number 20 by Tom Riley. And here we have Optimus Prime, and I'm guessing that's Duke. This isn't a series I'm reading. I did grow up watching G.I. Joe, but I'm not the biggest fan when it comes to the comics. So I'm guessing that's Duke. Let me know if that's not Duke. But really great cover with Optimus and him right here. All right, here we have Iron Man issue number 3. This is the Carmen Carnero variant. And this looks like an homage to the first Iron Man movie poster. So if you're one of those that loves to collect those, movie poster homages, here's a pretty nice cover. Go ahead and pick it up if you like it. And here we have Lobo issue number 1. Now here's a Scotty Young variant, but this is going to be exclusive to his web store. So if you're going to want this, you're going to have to order it from Scotty Young's website. This will not be available on FOC. But all you Lobo and Scotty Young fans, here you go. I just wanted to make sure you knew that this was out there. And here we have the Punisher number 2. This is the Fabrizio de Tommaso variant. This is the Doom homage. This is a really nice cover right here. The Punisher is not something I'm reading, but I can see that this artwork is really good. Even if it wasn't a Doom homage, I really do like the look of this cover. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on my FOC, but I want to let y'all know because this is a pretty nice cover right here. All right, so we made it to the totals. So you've seen how long this video has gone so far. Let's see how many books I got. So for DC, it was only 11 books this week. A really low week for my DC pulls. But if you notice, there was no Absolute series at all. So that's probably one of the reasons right there. Indies exploded this week. There was a lot of #1s with a lot of variants, and then Something's Come to Children is back. So I pick up all those. 26 pulls for my indie titles this week. Only 7 Marvel. It felt like there should have been more, but no, that's what it was. 4 ratios. Now that's not including the 2 that I'm gonna put on my FOC, but I don't know if we're gonna qualify for those. But these 4, I'm pretty confident that I'm going to get those, so that's why they're there. And a total of 44 books on my FOC. So originally, I had over 55. So I really worked hard to whittle it down to get it down to 44. So that's a lot of books. And now you see why somebody with ADD and dyslexia has a hard time keeping up with this series. This is why. That's a lot of books to read. All right, guys, so thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. I put out my FOC videos every Thursday or Friday. I do my new comic book day haul. I have a Sunday show and tell that I do where it's typically where I show off books that I received from Whatnot and eBay and online retailers. Last week I didn't have one. This week I'm trying to save up money because I will be going to MegaCon in March. So I haven't been doing a lot of pre-ordering. So this week I may just show off a statue. It's not something I've done before, but I do get a lot of comments about people wanting to know about the statues and they want a better look. So maybe this Sunday show and tell will be the first time, I actually do a review of one of my statues. So, leave me a comment. Let me know which one you want to see. Do you want to see the Gladiator Hulk, Voltron? Do you want to see Apocalypse there? Got Batgirl. There's a Wolverine right here. We got a Cyclops. We got Rogue. I got the Turtles down here. And I don't remember who's on the bottom over there. So I got quite a few. Let me know if any of those interest you. If I don't get any comics or comments, I'm just going to pick one. But as always, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. And I'll see y'all next time.